deals with only right triangles. That is any angle that measures exactly 90 degrees. The side opposite the right angle is the hypotenuse. The legs are adjacent to the right angle. This is the formula written down. The square of the hypotenuse equals the sum of the legs squared. Where we have the diagram. We have our hypotenuse, which is going to be the opposite side of the right angle. So when we square the square of the hypotenuse, this square equals the sum of the legs squared. So we have c squared equals a squared plus b squared. 5 squared, we got that 5 when it's squared equals 25. 4 squared when it's squared equals 16. Then 3 when it's squared equals 9. 16 plus 9 is going to give you 25. 16 plus 9 is going to give you 25. 25 equals 25. So that is proof. That is proof that the Pythagorean theorem is true. Over here, we're going to find the side length of a right triangle. The side length. The side length meaning this leg. We have the hypotenuse, which is 10. The hypotenuse is on the opposite end of that right angle. So our hypotenuse is 10. One of our legs is 6. And this other leg we're trying to figure out. And this is the leg because it's adjacent to the right angle. So we can either have c squared equals a squared plus b squared, or a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Some people prefer writing it down this way because it looks like it's in alphabetical order. Either way, you're going to get the same response because addition is commutative. Addition follows the commutative property. So either way, you're going to get the same answer. You know, we're trying to find the side length. The side length. So we plug in 10 squared. We plug in for our 6. We get 6 squared plus b squared. Over here, we plug in for our a, which is 6. We don't know what our b is, that leg is. And we plug in for our c, and that c is 10. So we get 6 squared is 36. 10 squared is 100. Follow the same method over here where we just plug in. For our hypotenuse, which is c, is 10. 10 squared. Then we plug in for that leg, which is 6. We get 6 squared. When we plug in, we get 100. When we square what we plugged in, we get 100 equals 36 plus b squared. Over here on this other end, 36 plus b squared equals 100. This is where geometry and algebra come together. We use those steps that we learned in algebra previously to solve for this. First, we get the inverse. The inverse of positive 36 is negative 36. Then after we do that inverse, we do equality. What we do to one side of the equal sign, we do to the other side of the equal sign. So we have that negative 36. So we have subtraction of 36. 100 minus 36 is going to give us 64. So we bring down, we have 64. We bring down that b squared. 64 equals b squared. Come over here, same style. B squared equals 64. We need to remember the inverse of squaring a number. The inverse of squaring a number is the square root. So we get the square root of 64. We get the square root of 64. We get 8. Get the square root of 64. We get 8. B equals 8. This side length here will equal 8. Same thing over here. The inverse of squaring a number is the square root. The square root of 64 is 8. B equals 8. That side length is going to be 8. Again, thank you for watching. This is a quick video on the Pythagorean theorem. So in case you missed this lecture and you weren't here, it's up here. Pause whenever you need to get the notes down. Thank you.